Hi everybody. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about overcoming drama at dinner. And I'm going to share with you a little story that happened the other night. We were all sitting around the table and it was Max and my boyfriend and his son. And as I think I've mentioned in previous blogs, we're trying to get the boys to just really get accustomed to trying new vegetables pretty much every time we all eat together. And I think that when they see the other one eating their vegetables, it encourages them on. So they've been doing great. Like the other night, we had some arugula with some balsamic dressing, and they both just chowed it down. It was so much fun because I thought for sure when I put it on their plate that there was no way they were going to eat it. And I deal with this all the time with my clients, and am finding that I'm dealing with it a little bit more at home now, and it's what I call dinner drama. And I know you all know what I'm talking about, and it's the battle that you have to go through to try and get your kids to try a new vegetable or even just try something new. And it can be really frustrating, I know. And I think you probably remember when you were kids, when you were told to eat your Brussels sprouts or your green beans or whatever it was. And if you can think back to what a nightmare that was for you to sit down and stare at those vegetables, and just the look of them made you sick to your stomach, but you weren't going to leave the table until you ate your vegetables. So this was kind of interesting because when I deal with the dinner drama, and especially when I'm working with the families that I work with, I set some parameters around it, because part of the drama can be eliminated by parents not creating the drama, right? So when we are set on getting our kids to eat every single bite of their vegetables, we are going into the meal with these expectations, and if they're not met, then that's where all the excitement and the drama starts. So if the kids don't eat all their vegetables, then it's either kind of black or white. If they eat all their vegetables, are good. If they don't eat all their vegetables, is bad. That's bad. Well, what I try and focus on is somewhere in between. And so with Max, for instance, the other night, we had the arugula and the boys ate it, and then we also had some snap peas. And so Max ate his, and he thought they were like edamame, so he slipped the peas out of his mouth, but still had the outer part of the pea. And I said, "Bud, you got to eat all of that. That's where all the other good nutrition is in the outer shell there." And so he had his kind of sitting on his plate, and I said, "Listen, we'll follow the 2-bite rule. You have to have 2 bites." And that's usually what I recommend to parents, is just get kids to try 2 bites. And if every night they only take 2 bites of their vegetables, that's fine, but you're rotating these new vegetables every night. Well, my boyfriend's son was at the other end of the table, and his rule at his house is that he has to eat all of his vegetables. So he's putting the snap peas in his mouth, the whole thing at a time, and chugging milk, and trying to basically swallow the snap pea with the milk in his mouth. And so there's no chewing involved. And all of a sudden, about the second or third time, it wasn't working anymore. Those snap peas were just not sliding down the throat the way he had intended. And so he started to gag. Okay, so here's where the drama begins, right? Little boy trying to eat the vegetables starts gagging. Everybody around the table is like, "Oh my God, is he gonna lose it in his plate?" So dad is saying, "Get over your plate, get over your plate." And at the same time he's saying, "Swallow your vegetable, swallow your vegetable." And Max and I are over there like, "Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen?" Finally, he gets the vegetable down. He's all red, everybody's breathing hard. And here we are living into this drama that we try not to create by getting him to eat all of his vegetables. So in this lesson, I kind of brought to everybody's attention that we don't want to make eating vegetables traumatic. Like, who wants that memory? I remember when we had to eat avocados for the first time. My mom was dating who is now my stepdad, and he, came into single mom, 3 kids. We're all crazy. We're not doing anything our mom's telling us to do, and he comes in and is like, "Okay, this is what's going to be happening at dinner." And that first time he kind of started setting the rules, we all had to eat avocado. Well, now it's one of my favorite foods, but then, in unison, we're eating the avocado and we're all gagging and going through the whole drama, but we had to eat every bite of it. Well, I remember looking back on that thinking that was such an awful experience. Like, do we really want to create that for our kids? And I love my stepdad. He's awesome and he's just doing what he knew best at the time. And same with my boyfriend. Like, he's just like, this is what we do. We eat all of our vegetables. But I just encourage you to ask yourself, like, what do you get out of that? What do we get out of making our kids eat all their vegetables? And I think that if we just look at it like, listen, they're trying the vegetables. If you can rotate them as much as possible and get them just to try 2 bites, like that in and of itself is a really big success. And in reality, we want to look at our portions on our plates as correlating to the size of our hand. Okay, so my hand is this big, right? So my serving of vegetables should probably be what I can hold in a cup hand, or about that big. For a little boy, a 7-year-old, whose hand is probably about the size of the palm of my hand, 2 or 3 green beans or 2 or 3 bites of vegetables, portion-wise, is really all they need. So make sure, that you're putting portion sizes on your kids' plates that are appropriate for them. You don't need to put adult portions on their plate, and they really don't need to be eating that many vegetables as long as you're getting them to eat 2 or 3 bites. So it was just a really good lesson in patience and also in setting up expectations for our kids, because they'll do what they can do up to a certain point, and then they're just like any one of us. If we're pushed past a limit that isn't comfortable to us, our bodies, our minds, just our physique is going to retaliate. That's the gag reflex. And yeah, sometimes our kids might be faking it, but in reality, what's the bigger purpose here? What's the end result? And in my mind, if we can just get them to try a few vegetables, a few bites, kind of stick with the 2-bite rule, over time, they're eventually going to find a vegetable that they like, and they're going to want 5 or 6 bites. So I did that with Max with green beans. Now it's his favorite vegetable. Did that with the arugula, and last night we had it again, and he ate a bigger portion. Same thing with butternut squash and yams and broccoli, and what's another one that we tried lately that he really liked? Celery. So again, starting with 2 bites, working up to it, keep rotating, and just decide how much drama you want, what you're willing to enforce, but also really stepping into your kids' shoes and thinking, okay, what is their memory of this going to be? What are they going to carry forward into adulthood? What is their impression of what eating healthy means? And if they correlate that with an unpleasant experience, which in the end we were all laughing, but at the time it was pretty much the dinner drama playing out full speed. So just consider that, and it was a good lesson for me to remind myself, like, it's just dinner, it's just vegetables, like, have some levity around it. Our kids are, if you can practice these healthy principles every single day, time and time again, in small portions, and just try to be as consistent with it as possible, your kids will catch on, and pretty soon they're going to find their handful of vegetables that they'll eat all the time. And if they only like 5 vegetables, bravo, that's great. At least they're eating something. So again, just beware of the dinner drama. Set it up so that everybody wins. And if you ever want to just share some of your stories with me, I love to hear how people are getting their kids to eat more fruits and vegetables and things like that. And if you also want to take a look at my new DVD, I talk all about how we can get our kids to eat breakfast and balance their plate and exercise more and do things like practice gratitude and all the things that make up healthy living. And you can go to maxsminutes.com and check that out. And in the meantime, enjoy your Brussels sprouts. See you next time.